Hey guys, how's it going? Kaeyoh from Storm here. So today, wanted to make a video talking about this weekend and a tournament that we played in. We were playing in the ESL Go for Heroes number 22, which we did end up winning. But there was an interesting situation we ran into in game 1 versus Complexity, and it got me thinking a lot about just the topic in general of doing risky late game bosses. So today, that's just what I'm going to be going over, is kind of the exact situation that came up in the game 1, and go over kind of like why we made a mistake doing this, and hopefully when you're playing games and if you're doing any kind of shot calling or anything, maybe take a lesson learned from us and try not to do the same mistake. So if I bring up the game here. Okay, so this is game 1 here. I fast forwarded because overall the game went very smoothly for us, and it was a good game. We got a nice huge lead by the time we're at 17 minutes. You can see we're level 21 to their 19. We've got 2 keeps on them, and we've got pressure on their last keep, and pretty much this whole game is looking really good for us. Everything was going smooth. If you look at the map, we have everything pushed out against them, and we have a lot of pressure going on to them. They're kind of on the back foot right now. They're just about to go break off and defend, but then you have this crazy situation come up where this boss just spawned. So that's pretty much all that's on the map. So obviously for us, being in this position where we are in a dominant lead and we have the 20 advantage, you can see how it's like really tempting for us in this situation to start this boss. And most people would probably actually agree that that's the right call and that's what should be going on right now. But to be honest, the actual value of doing this boss when you have this much of a lead and risking your entire lead on the defensive disadvantage that you get from being attacked by the boss, this is actually a really bad decision, and you're going to see how this plays out in their favor. And we end up actually losing this game because of how poorly this boss goes. So I've got the replay loaded up here, and we'll see how this plays out real quick, and then I want to bring up a couple points about it. So here we are, just kind of posturing up, getting ready to do the boss. Like I said, we had seen that they were over in this area. We knew that we had full vision control on it and everything. And at this point we were thinking, even if they contest us, we're just going to force the fight, and we should be able to win the fight anyways, which it does make some sense, to be taking advantages and letting them, come into you and forcing fights like that. But boss really gives them a huge advantage. So if it was something like their giants or their knights, it makes a lot more sense, because you're making them come to you if they want to take the fight, but you don't have this huge disadvantage of actually being attacked by the boss and all that extra damage and displacement and everything. So in this situation, we do decide to take the boss, and right about now is when we aggro it. Okay, we clear out mid real quick. It's all good and well. Alright, so here we start boss. And for them, obviously they know we're probably doing the boss because there's nothing else on the map. That's another big point here, is that because there's nothing else on the map, it makes it very obvious. And so they're going to do a quick scout here. And yeah, they see we're doing the boss, so they're just going to move in here. They know, there is no other option for them. This is their last. We give them the perfect desperation play. A lot of times you'll see this super late game. There's really nothing left for them to do. They're going to make some kind of desperation play to try and win. Well, what we're doing here by taking this risky boss is we're giving them the perfect desperation play where they actually do have a decent chance of winning this fight. So we'll see how this, let me just play through this real quick. Unfortunately there, because of the way we're doing boss, Dread's positioning was way over here, and he was away from us. So he gets blown up right away, and they just move on to the point and kind of bully us off of it. So now we're trying to at least have somebody live so that we can defend on core. But they actually get the cap on the boss. Yeah, so I mean, you get the point. So they get boss here. They're going to start pushing, and they actually just win right off of this one play. So the big lesson to take from that is, when you're playing in a late game situation, and they're on a point where they have to make a desperation play, even though it might be tempting to do a boss and take that risky boss call, a lot of times all you're doing is setting them up for the perfect desperation play where they're going to have a huge advantage engaging on you. And this was a perfect example of that. From here, they're just going to take it to core and end, and that sucked. Even though we were ahead all game, we played really well, that stuff can still happen. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.